This is Russell Copeland, former NFL player for the Buffalo Bills, Philadelphia Eagles, and Green Bay Packers. Happy MLK Day as we honor the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Man, Super Wild Card weekend has really been great. Some really great games. I think the games were going back and forth. A lot of good competitions. I think every team had an opportunity to win the game. Except for the San Francisco 49ers and Seattle Seahawks game. And even in that game, Seattle led at the half 17-16. A couple of turnovers, in the second half. San Francisco was able to take advantage of those turnovers, and then they won by a large margin. But I think the best has been saved for last. When Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, who's America's team, will face off against Tom Brady, the GOAT, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But first, before I break down the games and I decide who I feel like is going to win the game and why, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is Mike McCarthy's job is under a microscope. And I think Coach Mike McCarthy has done a really good job being the head coach for the Dallas Cowboys, especially the past couple of seasons. 12-5 last year, he won a division title. 12-5 this year. Going back to the playoffs, going to the playoffs back to back. I think that's really a good job. If he was coaching for another franchise, I think it would be a lot of optimism, and I think the franchise would be going in the right direction. But he does not coach for another franchise. He coaches for the Dallas Cowboys, and they have an outstanding fan base. They have a fan base no matter where you go in the country. You see the Dallas Cowboys fans, huge fan base, huge following. And with that being said, I think the Dallas Cowboys, as a fan base, they put a lot of pressure on whomever is the head coach and the Dallas Cowboys, the organization. From an internal standpoint, whether the Dallas Cowboy fan base believe it or not, most of the fans each and every year say this is our year and we are going to win a Super Bowl. And the same can be said for the owner, Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones did not bring Coach Mike McCarthy over and lead this football team as a head coach to have an early exit. Mike McCarthy is a Super Bowl winning coach. He brought him over to win division titles, yes, but he brought him over to compete for championships, conference championships, win conference championships, put his team in the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl, not an early exit. Jerry Jones did not pay $40 million to Dak Prescott for an early exit. He paid $40 million a year for Dak Prescott to lead this football team to championships and to win championships. I think, second of all, this organization, the Dallas Cowboys, have not won a road playoff game since 1992 when they beat the San Francisco 49ers. Number three, they've only won 4 playoff games since 1996. And last but not least, the GOAT, Tom Brady, is 7-0 against the Cowboys. And, some will say, what does that have to do with tonight? It doesn't have anything really directly to do with tonight because it's history, but it's about the pressure and it's about the microscope that Coach Mike McCarthy is under. If he wins this football game tonight against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he has to play the San Francisco 49ers. So for me, looking at Coach Mike McCarthy and his job security, it is the eye test. How's his football team going to play tonight against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? And winning that football game, how will they play next week against the San Francisco 49ers? But with all that being said, I think the Cowboys are the better team. I give them the slight edge. And I'm going to break down the factors of why I give the Dallas Cowboys the nod. And I'm going to look at the strengths for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm going to look at the strengths for the Dallas Cowboys. Number one, I give the Tampa Bay Buccaneers an edge because they're playing at home. Number two, let's look at the quarterback position. Tom Brady, the GOAT, in my opinion, the best quarterback that has played the position in the history of the National Football League. I give him the edge over Dak Prescott. But Dak Prescott is not a bad quarterback. Dak Prescott is a very good, solid quarterback. He's a franchise type of quarterback, and I think he deserves to make $40 million a year. But uncharacteristically for Dak Prescott this year, he's been turning the football over more. And that's been one of Dak Prescott's strengths. He's been able to protect the football. But since Thanksgiving game against the New York Giants, he's thrown 11 interceptions. And some of these interceptions are not Dak Prescott's fault. You've had some drop passes, some tip passes, some interceptions. But there have been some interceptions where Dak Prescott has tried to force the football instead of either taking a sack, throwing the football away, or just simply throwing the football down to a tight end or to a running back position. If he's going to beat Tom Brady, the GOAT, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he cannot have interceptions. And there's been a few games where Dak Prescott has had a couple of interceptions. I give the edge to Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The running back position, Leonard Fournette and Rachaad White. Rachaad White has definitely looked good the latter part of this season. Young rookie running back has been running hard, but the lack of the running game has been a major issue for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, whether it's upfront issues or simply the running backs have not been able to get it done from a running back standpoint. I give the edge to Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. The Dallas Cowboys have the edge at the running back position. I think Tony Pollard is the most explosive running back in the National Football League. He can beat you in the passing game, and also he can hit it in between the tackles. He can get outside, and he can take it the distance at any time. Ezekiel Elliott is still a tough runner, run between the tackles, and he's really tough in the goal line in short yardage situations. I think this is the best 1-2 combination in the National Football League. Some may differ, some may argue and say maybe it's the Cleveland Browns with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb for the Browns. I give the edge to the Dallas Cowboys and their running game. Now let's look at the wide receiver position for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have two future Hall of Famers in Mike Evans and Julio Jones. Chris Godwin has definitely been looking better. Russell Gage and Scotty Miller, they've also been having some plays here and there. But I give the edge to the pass catchers overall for the Dallas Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb has had a tremendous year this year. He's had a career year. He's wearing that number 88, and he's definitely playing like the players who have worn that 88 before. Dez Bryant, Michael Irvin, Drew Pearson. He's definitely done a tremendous job there. But I think where they get the edge at is at the tight end position. I like what Dalton Schultz does. You got Jake Ferguson, and you also got Peyton Hendershot. I think that what gives them the edge. I love the acquisition of T.Y. Hilton, not being able to pick up OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr. He's definitely came in and played. But I think Noah Brown and Michael Gallup, they definitely have to continue to make plays opposite of CeeDee Lamb, because I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will try to do some things and take CeeDee Lamb out of the game. Now let's look at the offensive line. I think one of the main focuses and the emphasis for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is pass protection and being able to open up holes for the running game. I don't think they've gotten the production out of the offensive line that they've needed to, and that's why they've struggled in some games. And if you want to get after Tom Brady, you get after him in the middle of the football field. Put pressure on him in the middle of the football field. And I think losing center Ryan Jensen before the season started, I think that definitely hurt them in the passing game, hurt them in the play action pass because they could not run the football. But they're getting Ryan Jensen back. Don't know how much he's going to play tonight, but if he can play, hasn't played the entire year, that could definitely help the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But that goes, I give the edge to the Dallas Cowboys. They've had some injuries as well on the offensive line. I think they're back healthy now. Tyron Smith is playing at the right tackle position. They have a great young tackle and Tyler Smith, and they also had Jason Peters, a future Hall of Famer. He has stepped in, has played the left tackle position. I think he's been playing very well. And Zach Martin, you know how well he's played throughout his career. I give the edge to the offensive line for the Dallas Cowboys. Now let's look at the defense. The defensive line for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think they're really good against the run, Vita Vea, but I give the edge to the defensive line for the Dallas Cowboys, DeMarcus Lawrence. But the reason why I give them the edge is because of Michael Parsons. Whether he lines up as a defensive end, he lines up in the gaps, he's on the line of scrimmage, whatever position group that he's playing, whether it's the linebacker position or it is playing on the defensive end position, I give that position group the edge to the Dallas Cowboys. So they're going to have the edge at the defensive line, and also they're going to have the edge at the linebacker position. But I do like Devin White. I think Devin White is really great side to side. He's been one of the premier linebackers in the National Football League for the past several years. But I give the edge to Micah Parsons on the defensive line and the linebacker position to the Dallas Cowboys. Now let's look at the secondary. Secondary, I give the edge to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I like what Carlton Davis III has done. Antoine Winfield Jr., love what he's being able to do at the safety position. I think both of them play very good back there in the secondary. They'll make some big hits, and they'll try to, get some turnovers. On the other side, Trayvon Diggs is a shutdown corner. He's a Pro Bowl cornerback. He's going to make some big plays for you. He may give up some big plays, but he's going to really pay some dividends. He gets tip passes, he gets interceptions, and then when it comes to third down, he always comes up on third down. But I think the point of emphasis is going to be opposite of Trayvon Diggs. Since Brown went down at the cornerback position, teams have tried to go after that side of the football field. We saw Jacksonville go after him. You saw the Philadelphia Eagles go after him. And you also saw the Washington Commanders attack that side of the football field. Now I'm going to talk about special teams. I give the edge to neither. I think it's a push on special teams. I think both teams have solid special teams, but I do think this football team could definitely go down to field goals. And last but not least, as far as the coaching, Todd Bowles, I love him from a defensive standpoint as a head coach. I know he's going to take, a lot of flack coming in this year, had a lot of injuries. But I have to give it to Mike McCarthy. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And I talked about what he's done the past couple of years, 2-12-5 season. The edge goes to Mike McCarthy. Overall, I think the Dallas Cowboys will win this game. I think it may be a close game. I think it's probably going to be a close game. That's the way the entire weekend has been. But I think the Dallas Cowboys are the better team, and I think the Dallas Cowboys will get this victory tonight, and that will really be a great matchup next week against the San Francisco 49ers. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Russell Copeland, former NFL player for the Philadelphia Eagles, Buffalo Bills, and the Green Bay Packers. Please hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you for listening.